Oh, well, I don't always nail the outros, but I am getting way better at the intros. Thanks for joining us this week, folks. My name is Jim Reed, and I have the best freaking job in the world. I get to be your host for the Rec Poker Podcast. This is the Chats edition of the podcast, where we're going to be interviewing someone interesting from the world of poker. Tonight, we're going to be talking to Ruth Hall, tournament veteran. This is one of our throwback interviews from Kim Kilroy's poker empowerment sessions that she's been running for the last couple of years, and it's a goodie. In the meantime, I have to thank our sponsors, the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. We've got some fun stuff planned up there, folks. August 4th and 5th, the first weekend in August. It's going to be me and a bunch of all my poker friends converging on Columbus, Minnesota, Mecca, as Steve likes to call it. The Rec Poker weekend at Running Aces is going to be a lot of fun. There's some tournaments that only Rec Poker members can play. There's a 3-tournament series with a points race, a leaderboard with additional prizes at the end. We're going to be giving away Rec Poker memberships. We're going to be giving away Running Aces Lammers. We're going to be giving away all sorts of merch. Rec Poker Premium members get some food vouchers just for showing up. There's a whole bunch of good reasons to show up to the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino on August 4th and 5th. So circle it, folks. You've still got time to book those flights. And if you're already if you already have a player's card, I believe you can even get a 10% discount at the hotel if you need a hotel room for a couple nights to make the fun go twice as long. So consider that, and I hope we get some fun folks coming out there. I'll be bringing the pins, of course. So if you're owed a pin and you haven't and you don't want to go pay the shipping and handling on the website to get it shipped out to you, all you need to do is tap me on the shoulder at one of our Rec Poker road trips, and I'll make sure to get that pin over to you. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. Thanks to sponsors, full marks so far. Our premium members are really the lifeblood of what we do here at Rec Poker, and we've picked up a few premium members over the last couple of weeks, back when I was in Vegas, and now that we're kind of getting things going back. So I really want to thank Craig Tetty, who I got a chance to meet down there. Craig was a super fun guy. And Craig, I hope you got to enjoy the rest of your trip in Las Vegas with your son and have a fantastic time. We also got Jennifer Galloway and Jean Cotto, who I haven't had a chance to meet with yet because, as is chronically the case, I'm a little behind on my emails. But I'm going to be reaching out to them real soon and showing them all the great stuff that is available as part of the Rec Poker Premium membership. So Jennifer, Jean, is it Jean or Jeannie? I'm not sure. Geanne. We're going to find out when we get a chance to talk one-on-one in our Zoom call. And Craig, thank you so much for your support. The other people that I have to thank about a few minutes into the show here are the Wrecking Crew, because I couldn't do it alone. They give me the mic on Mondays, but I am just one of the members of the Wrecking Crew that make the magic happen over here at Rec.Poker. If you want to find out more about me or the other Wrecking Crew members, you can head on over to rec.poker/crew, and you can also just listen up because you're going to meet a few of them right here, right now.
Well, I'm Chris Jones. You can find me 5v5 on Threads or 5x5 in the PokerStars home game.
I'm Joe Coolis. You can find me at Joe Cool PhD, Cool with a K on Twitter, and Elvita11 in the home game.
And I'm John Somsky, Poker Geek MN everywhere, including Threads.
And I'm Rob Washam, and I'm Rabman50 just about everywhere.
Thanks, gang. I'm so glad to be here, part of this Wrecking Crew. It makes me feel lucky and happy every Monday night, and sometimes even on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You just never know. So we are going to be talking to Ruth Hall, as I mentioned at the top of the show. And then we're going to be getting into some exciting events going on at Rec Poker afterwards. We're going to talk about some home game results, and we're going to give away a prize just like we do every week for our regular viewers who are here every Monday night at 7:30 Eastern, or as John Somsky is fond of saying, 6:30 Central Time, the only time zone that matters, live here on YouTube for free. So if our amazing post-production team of Renz Isidro and Roger Schutte can take it from here and throw to the interview with Ruth Hall, and then we'll be right back afterwards to talk a little more poker.
Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody, to this month's empowerment meeting. I'd like to welcome our guest today, Ruth Hall, to our group, to talk to our group. She comes from Texas, Austin, Texas, and she's a professional poker player who's been an advocate for women in poker for 18 years. She is well known, admired, and loved, and I may say feared on the felt within the women's poker community. Her many accomplishments include a WSOP ring and a ladies' golden nugget bracelet, as well as being named 2019 Player of the Year by the Women's Poker Association. Her passion has always been to encourage more women to get into the game. And she created the Ladies WSOP Summer Camp on Facebook to allow women to make connections, as well as volunteering and organizing leagues and satellites in Texas. She is married with 2 adult daughters, and she is a 2-time breast cancer survivor. So welcome, Ruth Hall.
Thank you.
So this is a small group, but this gets recorded and this gets put out on our site. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Rec Poker organization, but we're just a community. Jim, can you take over telling her what Rec Poker is all about?
Sure. Thanks, Jim. Rec Poker is sort of a place where we feel like people who love the game and want to be treated with respect and treat other people with respect and have fun, but still improve. And there's kind of this fine line we all have to walk to be good partners, good, competitors, and to have fun, but not at anyone's expense. And so that's sort of what we're all about at Rec Poker, trying to find ways to learn together, to share our success stories, and to share the pain of mistakes as well, and learning from it, learning from the pain of other people as opposed to having to burn your hand on the stove yourself. That's part of what we're doing too.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Okay, so Ruth, welcome. And you just got back from a poker trip, I hear. So that's exciting.
Yes.
Tell us how you got started in the game and why, what made you start playing poker in the first place and how long you've been playing. Just give us a little history.
Well, I like to blame my husband.
Oh, don't we all?
Always? But no, I grew up playing cards, but it was mostly pinochle, hearts, cribbage. And then when I met Keith, it was 2003, moneymaker boom, and he was playing poker online. So I said, well, I know how to play poker. What's the difference? I grew up on 5-card stud, 7-card draw, old school poker. So he pretty much told me and showed me and went from there. And that was way back when. And then in 2007, I started traveling for poker just as a hobby. In 2015, I took it real serious and was hitting a WSOP circuit every month in addition to working full time. I guess I skipped a year in there. 2008 was very important. I played full time in 2008 while I was honoring a non-compete. But 2015, I was traveling the circuit and working. And then with COVID, I've been playing poker solid now. So that's my job.
That's great.
Yeah.
When you look back on your poker career so far, what's one of the highlights that you would find?
I probably would say I had 2. One was playing with Daniel Negreanu at my table at the World Series of Poker, and I got to check raising. Woohoo! He ran away right away, but and I did flop 2 pair on him, so I wasn't too scared. But at least I get to say it, right?
Yeah.
So that was a highlight, just to have him at my table. And also, I had my worst day and my best day of poker in the same day during the World Series of Poker. So that was kind of interesting. I played the Golden Nugget main event, which is very low buy-in, $600. And I got one outed. I had an ace high flush, and this very aggressive European put me all in, and he hit a gutter ball straight flush. So on the river. So as I'm walking off, swearing off poker, talk about pains, right, Jim? a girlfriend of mine called and said, hey, they're going to start running the deep stacks after the Colossus tables break. Do you want to go play? It's a 185. I'm like, no. She goes, I'm going to come get you. So she ran over, scooped me up. I'd already played probably 6 hours, 8 hours in the main event at the Golden Nugget. So she scooped me up. We go over there, and it didn't start till late because they had to wait for tables to break. But there were 1,100 people in that, and it didn't end until the next morning. And for $185, I scooped up 34,000. So
wow.
I ended up winning it. So from worst day to best day, all in the same.
Oh, that's amazing. What a great story.
Yeah. Talk about luck turning, right?
Yeah. So you've long been an advocate for women in poker, right? So what do you feel is like your most biggest accomplishments in this area for women, getting more
women into poker?
Yeah.
I think just really the visibility and making sure that there are groups available for information. I'm a true believer in the buddy system, that if you have a girlfriend that also plays poker, you're going to feel more comfortable walking in there together into that casino for the first time if you haven't played before, as well as playing in leagues at home or in your local card rooms and casinos. It kind of gives you that confidence to go play at the World Series of Poker or wherever you want to go. But, volume in numbers, and strength in numbers. And I think that what's happened with WSOP Summer Camp, and as well as the WPA, which is Women's Poker Association that I helped create a membership for, it's just getting the word out is important so we can grow those numbers in the casinos.
That's interesting. You should say that. We had Lupe on last month as our guest, and she was telling us about a program they're going to try and start where there will be somebody at a local casino to welcome someone into the casino, show them what to do, sort of like a big sister kind of thing.
Exactly. And I think that's very important. So I hope that works. I was on the board for 3 years. I did my 3-year term. And, I love to volunteer for different groups. So it's worked out. And now I'm focusing on playing more and traveling more.
Right. Do you have any sort of experiences you want to share as being a female in this male-dominated game?
Oh, yeah. There's good, bad, and ugly. And the good, I have to tell you, I have a lot of poker buddies, a lot of them because I'm a senior. I'm 61. Reference me as poker mama sometimes, which I'm fine with. And I'm always the one that has the cough drop in the purse, if they need something, or the aspirin or whatever they're asking for. But, there's also, like when I played in 2008, every day, I was playing in daily tournaments in 3 different Indian casinos. I'd be the only female at that final table, and there'd be collusion, good old boys, helping each other one way or another. And it was difficult, but that's where you get your strength. You have to have thick skin to play poker in general, whether you're a male or a female. It's not a game that is for the light heart. So knowing the rules is the best advice I give to women. Learning TDA rules before you go to a tournament is the best thing to do, because if you feel like something's not going correctly, you have to have the courage to call the floor and feel justified in your question to that floor. And if you've learned those rules, it's going to support you.
Right.
I kind of have a question on that front. Kim, can I jump in here? So I work with a lot of beginner players, and I have that's sort of my area of poker. Say what you will about it. And one thing that I notice in these sessions with Kim and in talking with other advocates for women in poker, anecdotally, one message that keeps coming up is this: I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel comfortable in the space. And I hear that a lot from male and female beginners.
Right.
And I think that part of, and I'd love to get your opinion about this, because I feel like some of this lack of comfort is really because everyone feels uncomfortable at first.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that we have these other ways of making women feel uncomfortable that they don't perhaps accelerate through the pipeline in the same way, because they experience this extra discomfort. I guess, do you see much of this kind of the similarity between the discomfort that we all feel and this specifically gendered discomfort?
I think intimidation is true for either gender. And whenever you're starting something new, you're nervous, you're going to do something wrong. You're not wanting to be embarrassed. And so with familiarity, you're going to grow a little more confident, regardless of what your gender is. But the problems we run into, I think the younger generation is not very considerate of some females, not particularly myself. I'm not a young girl, dressed scantily that's going to be sitting at a cash table, which may encourage that type of behavior. But honestly, regardless of what you're wearing or who you are or what you look like, you should be treated the same. And that's the message we're trying to get out. It's respect your fellow poker players. I don't care if you're a grandma or, if you're looking for a man at the poker table, which some may be, but just respect your fellow teammates. It's not like you're there to be rude or to insult someone. You're there to play a game, and you should be able to have some fun while you're playing the game. Granted, some of the games we play are for thousands and thousands of dollars, so it gets a little serious, but that's a different level. You're going to see more comments and more freedom of speech, we'll call it that, at cash games, I would think, than tournaments.
Okay. That's great. That's great. You've been a member of the board of directors of the WPA, which is the Women's Poker Association. For any of our listeners here that are not familiar with that group, could you tell us a little bit about it and what their mission is?
Yeah, their mission is to educate, elevate, and empower women so we have more presence in the casinos, and to obviously there's a level of respect. I'm sure Lupe covered a lot of this, but we really are just trying to grow the female population. If you're not aware, and you are, Kim, but there's less than 5% of females at the WSOP. It's mostly the males, and we want to grow that percentage. We want to see more women represented in poker, and those that are succeeding, we want to definitely cheer along with them and empower them. So I think the WPA is on the right track. I'm not participating in the board right now any longer, but their mission is really just to get more women involved, just like I've been doing for all these years. And it's working. They have over 5,000 members now. And we started with 1,800, which was a little group that I had.
Right. That's amazing. And where would any women that are not a member of that group now, what do they do to join the group?
Oh, yeah, it's free membership. It's www.wpa.poker. It's free membership. Anybody can join just to follow. We also have some Facebook groups if you're interested. So Women's Poker Association has a Facebook group. My own group that I manage is called Ladies WSOP Summer Camp. And in that group, we talk and focus about women who are interested in going to the WSOP, maybe ideas for satellites. Yep. We've even gotten to where's the best nail salon? Where can you get your hair done while you're there in Vegas? What are the best restaurants? We're just sharing information. And I think that's important that that you have somewhere you can go and ask silly questions too. And then my friend Chris Reed also has Poker Queens, which they celebrate success whenever someone in the female poker community does well. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So
awesome.
those groups are all free. Just jump in and it's more exchanging information.
Perfect. So we've been doing some of this stuff. I've been a member of these groups for a while, and recently I think there was 3 women at a final table in the Venetian. Do you think that this is something that, because there's more women out there playing poker, do you think, like, is this something new, or is this something special that the WPT does?
I think that you're going to see more women at final tables. We're starting to get backers. Chris Reed and I both have backers, or we would call them investors. So we're selling pieces of our action when we travel. And I think more and more women are realizing that that's a way to do it, to help reduce your costs and have a return on investment still. It helps so you can have multiple bullets, meaning multiple entries for those of you that are new. What we find in poker tournaments these days is that there are always rebuys. Very rarely do you find a freeze out format. And very rarely should you go to an event with just one entry in your pocket or in your purse. And the reason for that is the structure is built to try to build a stack early when the rebuys are happening, and then protect your stack later after the rebuys are over. It becomes a freeze out. So you don't want to ever go with just one entry. And when we play, we may have 2, 3, 4 bullets in our purse for that particular event. Depends. It depends on the prize pool. You don't want to enter too much. I always say 2 is real good.
Okay, that sounds good. That's really good advice. Talking about
Can I just
advice.
ask a question about
Yeah,
that?
sure. Yeah.
Having backers. I'm just wondering, like for me, I've had backers, for example, when I played in the main event of the WSOP, but I found it a lot of stress because I wanted to do better because I had backers. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, you have to forget that you have to play your game. And I'm not selling all of me. This last New Orleans trip for the Gulf Coast Poker main event, I sold 25% to one backer that I have as a regular backer and 5% to another. And then Chris Reed and myself, because we travel together, we exchange 5% of any event that we both play in. We also have a little rule that if it's $5,000 or more US, you deduct 20% for taxes, because we have tax implications here in the US. So before you make the payouts, 20% is reserved for yourself because you're going to be in charge of those taxes in the US. So we have a little, I would call it an investment group of women, mostly women. There are men too. I shouldn't say it's just women, that we kind of utilize repeatedly whenever we want to sell action. And we don't always open it up to everyone. So it makes it easier. But I don't always focus on, I've got people relying on me, because typically if I go somewhere, I'm going to cash in something. I don't know why, but I always have that confidence that I'll cash in something. They may not get the whole amount or more than what they invested, but they're going to get some type of payment back. And keep in mind that if you have 3 or 4 entries that you've put as an investment and you only use 2, you're refunding those other 2 to your investors. So they do get a refund for the 2 that you don't use. So they've been pretty happy though, because Chris and I have done pretty well. So.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. Do you have any general advice for sort of the female recreational player that's just sort of entering and we're not going to play the big main event, and we're just we just want to sort of enter. Should we be going to bar league? What should we be doing here to?
Yeah. So I was that girl. I don't know if you knew that, but I was that girl. And
Me too.
When I started, I was online playing with my husband, free poker, right? Free poker online. And then when I came to Texas, all we had was bar leagues. So that's all I could play in. And, bar leagues is fine, but you're not going to have people folding much is the problem. So it's not real good poker. They tend to just keep buying. And in these bars in Texas, if you buy a round of drinks, you get another set of chips. So we're buying lots of chips, right? Lots of drinks and lots of chips here. So it's not real great experience, but it's getting you some hands in. I also think that besides online and bar leagues, just starting a home league, get 9 people or 8 people that you like and want in your home, and have once a month or once every other week a little game. And it can be small stakes, but at least it gives you some live experience. If you can't get into the casinos, you can do satellites and leagues that get you into bigger events like the WSOP. Right now, I'm running satellites for a group of women to win their $1,000 seat to the WSOP. It's a completely 100% rake free. It costs $140 for 10 women. $1,000 goes to the winner, $250 to second, and 100, or is that right? Yeah, and 150 to third. It's 100% paid out, but it's going to give women an opportunity to win their $1,000 to go play in the ladies WSOP.
I do a similar thing, or I have done a similar thing in the past at my cottage, where I host a women's weekend, and we play for a seat, and we do a little equity share. So everybody that played in the tournament and participated has a share of the person that wins the seat at the WSOP. So
which I would love to do. Now in Canada, you don't have the tax implications, right? We do here.
But we do. They take 30% right away off.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So we just pay out from after the 30%.
After, okay.
Yeah.
So, I would love to do that, but we had somebody walk from a WSOP league after he cashed. So we decided we're not going to do that anymore. Yeah. Never seen him since.
I bet.
Poker players. What's wrong with these people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't know him very well, but I guess I'll never see him again.
All right. Well, we do what we can. So what can you tell us about the current live poker scene in Texas? And for me and Elizabeth and maybe a few others, what's the best time of year to visit and play poker?
It is booming like you wouldn't believe. Austin, 5 minutes from my house, has a place called The Lodge, and they are buying a new building next door that used to have trampolines in it. So you can imagine the size of square bit of space that's in there. And they're going to put 60 tables in there, 60.
Wow.
They have already recruited a lot of dealers and staff from Las Vegas and from Boston Harbor Casino. So we have a lot of Vegas dealers and professional dealers. And they are actually having a $2 million guarantee in September, when I'm going to be in Greece, unfortunately. But I'm really happy about that opportunity, because I don't have to get on an airplane and go to Vegas to be able to play that type of stakes. Houston also, Johnny Chan just is opening his new location there in Houston, which is having a huge guarantee. I will say, if you're looking for a place to play, Austin's a little bit more reserved than Houston players. Houston tend to gamble a little more. They're not afraid to just put it all in and rebuy. Austin's a little more conservative than them. And then you have your Dallas players, who also have Dallas card rooms, but not as large. They also have a Texas card house up in Dallas that they opened. So you can find poker everywhere in Texas. That's why we call it Texas Hold'em, right?
That's right.
So,
Yeah,
Chris,
I've heard it's good.
I want to go to Texas to play poker, and I'm just wondering, what is the best time of year to try and plan a trip there?
Well, if you can come in September, that would be great. But, I would just watch the websites. Now, Texas, 95% of the year is going to be beautiful weather, so you don't have to worry about that. Especially Austin. I stay away from Dallas around Christmas in January, because they can get ice. We don't. And then Austin is centrally located, and Houston's down on the coast. So you won't have any problems there. But how the card rooms work is you pay either a daily, monthly, or yearly membership. So it's like $10 a day, $25 a month, or $200 a year, and you become a member. And then once you're in, you can either play cash for about $10 to $12 an hour, which is considered the fee for your seat. Or you can play a tournament, which is going to have a fee attached to it that doesn't go to the prize pool.
Interesting. You've been traveling a lot, and we're sort of restricted in our travel still. We can't drive across the border yet. And how has COVID impacted your travels? And how do you deal with it going to various places?
Yeah, I can honestly say at first I was scared because I traveled during the first wave of COVID. I have to. And I played poker during the first wave of COVID, other than when they were shut down. I was one of the people going to Vegas when it was just a few places to play. I take as many precautions as possible, wear a mask, use the hand sanitizer, wash your hands frequently, and as quickly as I could, I got both vaccines. I actually had to drive to Waco an hour and a half away for both of my vaccines. It's a personal choice for me to protect myself. And I am a 2-time cancer survivor. So I wanted to be cautious because I'm still on maintenance chemo pills. But whenever you make those decisions, you're exposing yourself because there are a lot of people who don't take the precautions. So, and still to this day, and I know that for a fact from coming back from the Gulf Coast Poker, there were individuals who just don't believe in it. So you just have to, it's a gamble, like everything in life, right? But you have to weigh the pros and cons. If you're going, just take every precaution you can before you get there.
And do you find certain places you go are more like people are wearing masks more and there's more sort of restrictions in place or versus other places, or where you're more comfortable?
And I can be honest with you, where I came from, masks were down below the noses and we were 9-handed and they weren't getting on them. And I didn't respect the floor for not getting on them enough. They'd make announcements that one gentleman did get warned, but it was just too lax. But that's the South. And I hate to say it, but it is. That's the South.
But masks were required.
Masks were required, but they were still just kind of hanging off, or they'd have them off for a long period of time until they were told to put it back on, the chin mask thing. At Venetian, true story, someone took it off just to take a drink and didn't have it off just for a few seconds, and the floor was on her, telling her put that mask back on. So they were very strict at Venetian. So it just depends, I think, on the casino that you're at, right. How tight they're going to regulate it. Right. I will tell you that Texas is also a little more lax, just because of who we are, I think. Right. As a population, we're going to follow our governor a little bit more here. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll hopefully, Elizabeth and I just canceled a trip recently because of the resurgence of the Delta virus and going to Florida. We decided not to go at this time.
Yeah, I would avoid Florida. Yeah, I almost didn't want to go to Louisiana, but it worked out fine. And we both had some success. So.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations.
Louisiana's on my bucket list too. Right?
We have a long.
I want to go to Biloxi too as well.
Biloxi, yeah.
I think it would be fantastic. And they have big tournaments in May. I know of every year, and one day I'm going to make it there.
Beau Rivage is beautiful if you've never been.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Ruth, where's your favorite place to play poker?
For environment or for tournament structure, or there's so many.
Not tournament structure. I guess favorite place to play. I mean, not favorite tournament to play. How's that sound?
I don't know. I think there's always been a warm spot for me to play at the Venetian. I always do well there. They have the best food. Their dealers have always done a good job. I've never had any problems. And I feel the safest there, I think. So I'm going to just have to, and even though the owner used to be against online gambling, I know, and a lot of people put him off, they just do a really good job. And I have to say that I enjoy that because the restaurants are so fantastic there.
Right. Right. Good.
I'm from Texas. I like to eat, right?
Venetian is a good choice. It's very comfy there. What about overseas? Do you ever play overseas? Do you ever travel to play?
On vacation, on holiday, like Costa Rica and Aruba, I got to play, but nothing serious. I was going to do down at the Caribbean Adventures, but never made it. So, it's just not been a priority. We're going to Greece in September. That's my ultimate bucket list, but that's just for holiday.
Oh, have an awesome time.
That's Chris and I, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. Have an awesome time.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
The fruits of our labor.
So I'm just going to open this up. If anybody here on the panel here has any questions for Ruth, please go ahead and.
Do you ever, I'm always curious about this. When you talk about having multiple bullets in your backpack, is security an issue? Is it on your mind in a way that, again, maybe it wouldn't be in my mind in those situations?
It is when you're walking from the casino to your hotel or from the casino to the parking garage. It's always a concern because people get robbed.
Yeah.
And so we keep the majority in the safe and take what we need for the day.
And what's the combination for the safe?
Yeah, right. It's your birthday.
Yeah, no, because that's something I think people generally aren't conscious enough about. Honestly, I think especially guys like me just don't think about security at all in that case. But I think people know in these multiple buy-in events and something, people are often handling. And so do you have any tips on how to kind of protect yourself in that way, or just make smart decisions about just putting yourself in as little danger as possible in that kind of way?
Well, as females, we walk in groups. Definitely stay with a buddy. It's definitely stay in lighted areas. We just really just use the cautions that we always have to use.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go out to eat to nice restaurants, we don't even take a purse. We just take our wallet and our credit card and our room key. It's just natural for us not to carry a lot of cash. If we're playing poker, unfortunately, we have to have it. But do know that in WSOP, you can wire transfer money, and they have it.
That
so
was actually I wanted
to carry it.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that a little, just because for some of our less experienced players, they might not realize, the world has kind of advanced a bit technologically, and we can transfer funds electronically. And especially because the WSOP they have like a tournament account or something that's part of it. Could you just talk a little bit about that and how that might be easier?
Well, they have various options of how you can pay for your tournament entries, and wire transfer is one of them. They just keep the tournament account and your name for it, or you can use chips, or you can use lammers, or you can use good old American cash. But the wire transfers are real easy. In fact, I just had money wire transferred to South Point when we had the Nevada Ladies State Championship, because I didn't want to carry all the money I was bringing. So my husband just went to the local bank and wire transferred it for me, and they had it in an account for me. Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Just
Nice.
used it for my tournament entries. Didn't have to worry about it on the airplane or anything, because once I had $40,000 in the bottom of my purse on an airplane once.
Yeah, that's a
Not a good
tricky
idea.
feeling, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, TSA actually limits you to 10, so they could have confiscated it.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that sounds like a spicy experience.
Yeah. So it's easy. Wire transfer.
Yeah, that's good information. Thanks. I wanted to add also that if you're the last woman standing and all of the friends have left, and you can't walk out with a group of girls to your car. There's always a security guard to ask to
Right. And
take
I've
you to
used
your
him.
car.
Yeah, I've used him before lots of times because it's just a level of comfort. I mean, I have never been robbed. I've never been attempted robbery, but you hear the stories. And especially in Vegas right now, I think that the crime rate is up. So you want to be extra cautious.
Right. Yeah. Anyone else?
So, Ruth, it's really great to see you here today. I was excited to know that we get to talk to you. And I'm just some great information you've provided. And I'm just wondering, are we going to see you at the WSOP this year for Ladies Week?
Yes. There isn't going to be what we call a Ladies Week. There's an international.
Ladies Week,
yeah,
right.
international.
Yeah.
I am booked for that week. I will be at South Point, but JJ has given us her house again for WSOP. Talk about a great treat, right? And so JJ has a house right there not far from South Point that Chris and I use, and then we'll have a rental car to come and go. But I have 2 trips already booked for World Series of Poker, as long as they don't cancel on us, right?
Right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you there. Hopefully we will make it to that one and it will go ahead.
Yeah. So ladies and seniors. I play seniors too.
Yeah.
And my favorite event, just so y'all know what my favorite event is the Monster event. That's my favorite.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. I really hope it runs, and I really hope they don't have to cancel any events or cancel any of it. But.
And Jim, you asked about what advice to give to beginners. If you're coming to Las Vegas and looking for events to play that are not $1,000 or on up, the women do have a $150 buy-in the night before, which is called the Ladies Warm Up, which is part of the WSOP. It's kind of hidden in the schedule in the footnotes, but for $150, they can play at the World Series of Poker the night before the Ladies National Championship.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, so they should know that, as well as a lot of the tournaments during the October Grand Series that are running are very reasonable at Golden Nugget. That's off the strip. It's in downtown. And then, of course, Venetian will be running their deep stacks. My biggest concern is that they'll be short on dealers. That's my biggest concern. What I'm hearing is that they only have about 300 on board so far. Yeah. So I'm afraid some events might get canceled.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's that fine line between canceling the event or sloppy dealing. No real good answer there, I guess.
Right. And beggars can't be choosy. I mean, we got to help educate them when we're at the table and not be mad at them. They're still learning sometimes.
I'm just going to stick to Hold'em, try and make it as easy as possible on the poor folks.
There you go.
Well, I had another question. If
go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. So Ruth, you talked about the buddy system and how that's sort of like a big part of playing together. We talk a lot here at Rec Poker about sort of like studying together and sharing our hand histories with each other and giving each other advice. Do you have a poker buddy, or do you have like a few poker? Because I know you've got these communities that are all about support. But when you're learning about poker, talking poker, are there just a couple people in your life that help you out with that? What's that like?
I've actually taken lessons from other pros because I think knowledge is power and the game is constantly evolving. But I also give lessons to beginners and women who want to up their tournament game. And I've been doing that for years. I used to do it for free. And my husband finally said, you're spending 3 hours of your evening or your weekend on this. This is when I was working full time too. You really need to be charging something. So for a whole $150, I spend 3 hours and give them my tournament multi-table lesson plan, and actually had a lot of success with some of the students that I've had. One of them, Janet Fitzgerald, went and got her 3rd WSOP ring because she was in such a lull for 2 years. And a couple of others, one of them was in the super seniors, never played in a multi-table tournament in her life and went to the World Series of Poker and got like 26th out of thousands. And yeah. And so it's kind of, I feel like a mama bear to these women that come to me and ask for help. And it really makes me proud. That's all I can say. That's going to be my legacy when I'm gone, is that at least I left something behind for someone to also succeed, I think.
Right. That has to be so rewarding too when
It is. I love to hear that they've won.
Yeah. How much time do you spend yourself in study of the game versus play?
Yeah, I'm a reviewer more than a studier. I also read books. I've been trying to, if I turned my TV, my little screen around, you would see I have about 100 poker books on the shelf here that I probably haven't touched, but maybe 5, if that, because I just don't sit down and read them, or I get bored if there are a lot of math in it, because I use the Keep It Simple, Stupid math program. So whenever you talk about studying, it can be some type of online support system, which I do use, or it could be just talking to somebody who's you feel is above you. And I think you want to, the cream rises to the top. You want to learn from somebody that you feel is a mentor. And I have a couple of mentors that I can rely on.
Like a hand history review or something like that. You'll talk about a hand or yeah.
And I had a big one in the main event recently that I feel that I slipped up on, and it cost me. So,
well, we run a hand history review group here at Rec Poker. It's free to join. Come on in. And we'll go through your hand. It'll be excellent.
Well, I lost, so that should tell you something.
Submit a hand and let's discuss it.
Yeah.
Let's just say I had jacks and I couldn't smell out the kings. We'll just put it that way. On a 10 high board. It was 10-9-7. I got a little greedy.
That's pretty reasonable.
You even had the gutter there, though. I'm probably getting it in there too. Come on.
I had the gutter.
Bring the
I had
8.
the overpair.
Bring the 8.
But I also was against one of the best players who had been informed he was aggressive, but he actually had kings. So
even those aggressive players sometimes wake up with a hand.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but they do.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody have anything else for Ruth? We've kept her long enough here. I've really enjoyed this. If people want to reach out to you, Ruth, where can they find you? On Twitter, Facebook, whatever?
Yeah, I'm mostly a Facebook girl. I have 5,000 friends, but you can message me and I'll certainly respond. I'm very open to responding to people. I also respond, to email. I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram, just not that often. Facebook takes up enough of my time, and I'm actually trying to reduce that. So,
and they just find you at Ruth Hall. Ruth Hall.
If you Google Ruth Hall Poker, that's how you're going to find me.
Okay.
Just put the word poker on there. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we certainly hope we get to see you this fall.
Yeah, I do too. We're almost there, right?
I know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we're excited.
Fingers crossed.
We've got it all booked and we're hoping.
You open this with some women don't want to play against me or be at the same table. I'm the same way with you, my dear.
I didn't say that exactly.
Kim's a shark too.
Oh, we know.
Oh, go on. Yeah. So, if Ruth and I are at the same table, we generally stay away from each other for the most part.
Until we chop it.
Right. Yeah. Until we chop it. All right. So thank you so much for coming and rescuing us today. And it's been just an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. Well, you're welcome to Texas anytime. I mean, Austin is the place.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
Thanks so much, Ruth.
You're welcome. Yeah. Take care. Good cards. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, folks, actually, I have heard this interview already because I was in the room when Kim Kilroy was doing the interview with Ruth, and this was a really good one. Ruth had a really interesting story, tournament grinder, just played a ton, very involved in the poker scene, and I really enjoyed hearing her talk about sort of what that's like the experiences she's had, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. Phil from the YouTube chat says, "Amazing interview. Thanks, Phil. Yep, I knew we'd have you in our corner for that one because you're just a constant font of positivity and encouragement. It never crossed my mind otherwise. Thank you, my friend." So as folks know, we like to support the cause of we try and combat the problem of food insecurity. Food insecurity exists on a spectrum. Everyone can do their part by supporting their local food bank. And if you type the words food bank into the chat right here in YouTube right now, then you'll get a chance to get your name pulled for a prize for free. And folks like Phil Razor and Luke O'Driscoll, previous winners that haven't gotten their prize yet because they've emailed me to claim their prize and I haven't sent it out yet, will soon be able to attest to how great those prizes are. Sometimes it's a free month at Rec Poker. Sometimes it's a free month at Learn Pro Poker or pokercoaching.com or the Poker Forge or Solve for Why or some of our other fantastic learning partners. Sometimes it's a coaching credit. Sometimes it's some merch. You just never know. But it's free and it's going to be fun. So good. Some people are starting to type food bank into the chat. And I'll just mention to folks again, if you just Google the words food bank near me, you'll find an organization that could benefit from a donation of a few dollars, a few hours, or a few non-perishable food items from your pantry. So please do consider helping out a food bank in your area. You never know who might be going hungry. It might not be someone you expect. It might be someone in your own neighborhood or community that just needs a little help getting food on the table. So please do consider that. And speaking of hungry, I think some people are hungry for some home game results, John Somsky. We had a couple. No, I'm sticking with it. Keep that in. Keep that one in. That's the best segue we've had all night. So John, why don't you fill us in? There's been some close calls and some big names in the top three, but we only get to shout out the winners, unfortunately. But let us know how some folks have been faring.
That is true. Everyone is looking for a taste of these results, and their stomachs are growling, just waiting for.
Yes.
Yeah, I can make very bad puns as well.
He's doing it.
Okay.
Take it home, John. Take it home.
For our Mixed Game Championship Series, Jasper Jr. Pat Barry got his very first mixed game victory in the Limit Stud 8 event. Of course, Gopher Boy TJM Taylor still has a 64-point lead, but this win did catapult Jasper Jr. into second place in the POY race.
Mm-hmm.
And K-Poker wannabe Ron Payton got his second daily TOC title of the year. So he's won 2 this year. Now, unfortunately, he only gets 1 silver pin for that, but that is 2 victories in TOC events.
Super tough fields too. Like let's not just gloss over how difficult that is to accomplish. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Then on July 10th, Mudslinger 1942 Jack Pestel got his second nightly victory for the year. And Ship and Flip Wreck, Luke O'Driscoll got his 5th nightly victory for the year.
Luke's on a roll, man. He cannot be stopped. I think we say his name every single week here on the podcast. So Luke, I know you're listening. Congratulations, man. That's amazing.
Another one that has been coming up recently is Lars Opening. George Borden got his 3rd nightly victory for the year.
Nice. Way to go, George.
Digging 8 Graves got his or her 6th nightly victory for the year. And then Elvita 11, Co Julis, got his first nightly victory for the year.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry, that was Joe Coolis.
Nicely done.
Big Dog Day got his first daily mixed bet event for the year.
Nice.
Gopher Boy TJM Taylor got his first international victory for the year.
Rigged.
Jaw 2222 Dave Schoon got his second international victory for the year. And Stewie 13 Stuart Carriage got his first LPP victory for the year. So Stewie, you can email info@rec.poker for your free month at Learn Pro Poker.
That's right. One of the great perks of playing in these home games is the games are free, but the prizes are real, folks. So you're going to love a free month of learning at Learn Pro Poker. You are in for a treat. Joe, did you have something there?
Well, I just want to say you pointed out that Luke O can't be stopped, but I did beat Luke O in the game.
That's true.
So he can be stopped, but he played very well. I had a huge stack and I could not put him away. It took a long time before. So hats off to him for playing very well.
Nice, yeah, absolutely. And he has been on a freaking roll. I see there's some great back and forth in the YouTube chat here, folks. I wish I don't understand. More folks join us live for free on YouTube at 7:30 Eastern on Monday nights. You can win a prize. You can see all these people going at it in the YouTube chat. It is a lot of fun. So congratulations to all our winners and some very self-deprecating answers from some of these people in here. Listen, some of you're excellent players. You deserve to win, Luke. I mean, it definitely helps to play a lot of games, but don't let that shine come off, my man. You've been kicking butt, and you deserve all the victories that you've had. So good for you. Congratulations. All right, Chris, why don't we do our food bank roll here? I think I see Charles Allen first, and then Dave.
He was hedging based on who was rolling.
Oh, okay, that's true. Oh yeah, because you really want to be first if I'm the one rolling. But
right.
Charles, Dave, Joe, Luke, and
I think that's it.
I think that's it. 4. So
I get to use the fancy triangle one.
Yeah. All right.
This is like my favorite because it's like it's hard to even read.
We'll make a geek out of you yet, Chris.
Yeah, we got him. We're
who thinks of designing a dice like a triangle? I mean, there's got to be a better way to do this. I don't know. Anyway, all right, ready? Here we go. It's a 2.
A 2. All right. So we started with Charles. Of course, it's Dave. It had to be Dave. Dave, the perennial winner. Congratulations, sir. So we're going to start coming up with some new prizes for Dave Westerveld because Evil Roy just cannot. All he does is win, win, win. It's one of he's cleaning up. That reminds me of Eric Jin, who was doing so well in our Fun Country online play-in hangs that $25 at a time, every week the prize was $25. He won so many of those that he bought himself a standing desk. He bought himself a standing desk purely with the winnings from our Fun Country online play-in hangs.
Yeah, but didn't Dave Westerfield buy his vacation cottage with the winnings he made on that?
Yeah, I think Dave
he was right there,
well.
right next. He was right next to Eric.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to sneak a win past those two. That was my experience as well. Yeah, I think we need. So we're just going to respond to some YouTube chat here. We do need a die cam or a dice cam. We'll have to get back to Chris. You're the linguist here. You're the English master. Would it be a die cam?
I already said triangle. It got corrected as pyramid. So and that is actually correct. So
it is a pyramid. That's a good point. I do think that's what we're missing now because I don't want to get Poppy on us and all the lawyers. This is a very litigious group, and if Phil Razor feels bamboozled at all the friendly comments to Stapleton aren't going to make enough of a difference. I think he's going to bring the hammer down. So we need some transparency, Chris, is what I'm saying. We need some transparency here.
Go ahead, John.
Well, I just have a simple suggestion. Just have your phone, have it join into Zoom as a separate account. Yep. Have it set up so that the camera is pointed to a little area that you can shine some lights on, maybe some rubies in the background, a little glitter, and then that's where you roll the dice, and it would just be awesome and simple. I think you could do that quite easily. Notice I didn't volunteer to do anything myself.
That's true. It could be like an iPhone. It could. Maybe we could just do it by calling in on the phone. I could probably. Okay, you've given us a lot to think about here, John. Live on the air. This is where we do our best thinking. These sort of pregnant pauses.
I'm trying it right now. We'll see if this works.
Yeah. Okay. This is how we're trying it. We're trying it here. Chris Jones. There's that handsome bugger. Now let's see. You might have to mute one of you.
What's
feedback.
happening? Am I in there? No.
You're in the Zoom. I see your.
This is great podcasting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's near the end of the show. We already gave the prize away, so I think they're dropping like flies. But let's take another minute and see if we can figure this out. It does
start
say
video.
Yeah, there we go. All right,
Okay, now
I see your face.
Now I gotta flip it around though. Hold on.
Yep, flip it around.
Phil's saying if the die cam works, he demands a producer credit. Yeah, he wants an agent credit. Okay, here we go.
They're the trust. But you're not going to believe me anyway. You're not going to. So like I roll this. I guess I can.
Then you got to get real tight. You got to get real tight on
that.
it.
I don't know.
Okay, so I think what you need to do is this is a trick that some geeks may have been known to use in the olden days. Take a light colored crayon, rub it over the side of the dice, and it will make the numbers stick out more.
Ooh.
So then it should show up on camera. Something like a white with that dark of dice would have to be used.
Or you could
not only do I have to buy geek dice, now I've got to buy white crayon. What is happening here?
Well, yeah.
Right.
Actually, it's not too bad on the other ones. I think the triangle one's the pyramid.
The triangle one is the problematic one.
The pyramid one now. Precision of language.
Yeah.
Chris, what if you slide it over towards the edge of the table and then you could get it from the side? You know what I mean? What's that like? If
like that?
Yeah, it's too fuzzy. That's pretty close. Okay, we're gonna workshop this, folks.
Well, Joe, I have one other technological, since we've wasted people's time in doing this over and over again. Can you give me, can I take control of the screen?
Yeah. Oh, can you take control of the screen?
Yeah, you may be sharing, so maybe I can't.
Trying to get things in focus is such a great experience for an audio podcast.
I know.
I just have to say.
This is what's gonna get us GPI podcast of the year right here. This is the clip we submit to them for sure.
All right. So we're gonna workshop this off the air. Maybe when we come back next week, we will have an ISO cam. A DISO cam? Oh, maybe we nailed it. Phil didn't come up with DISOCam. So, Phil, you're going to have to split that producer credit with me. Saying we need there's some really good comments here in the YouTube, some very helpful suggestions. I feel like we're going to get there. All right. What a train wreck. Folks, this has been spectacular. I feel like we really made some technological advancements here, some improvements to the show infrastructure. Is there anything else that we should be talking about? What else is new and exciting and coming down the pike? Obviously, Rec Pucker Weekend at Running Aces is right around the corner. It's not too late to get yourself ready for that. And
what days are the dates for that?
Those are Friday, August 4th and Saturday, August 5th. And then I'm going to be there Thursday night and I'm staying over Saturday night. So I'll probably, if people stay over Saturday night, I'll probably host like a breakfast or something on Sunday morning before we all head out. But yeah, the main events are on Friday the 4th and Saturday the 5th. So do come and check that out. And I guess I would just say, if you're still listening, you're obviously a diehard fan. Please do subscribe, rate or review the show. That would be fantastic. That helps us out a lot. If you're listening and not watching, head on over to YouTube every once in a while. Check out some of our videos and give us a follow or a subscribe on there too. That would be great.
If you're gonna rate it, please rate it on the previous part of the episode, not the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Try and rate it on the portions that you really enjoyed. That would be great. That would be great. So I'm being asked if there's any updates on the Indianapolis event. Not yet. I have reached out to the contact there, Chris, and I'm hoping that we will get a chance to get together. And thanks to everyone else, Michael Savage, who sent me a fantastic email about some card rooms in Texas that we might be able to visit. I want to be doing a lot more of these Rec Poker road trips. So if there's a card room near you, send me an email and let me know if we can make some introductions and make something happen, because it's just so much fun traveling around North America, playing cards and making friends. I just want to do it as much as possible. So I'm looking forward to that. And thanks for that connection, Phil. And yeah, Luke, we're definitely copywriting the DISOCam. That's going to stick around, I think, for sure. All right. Well, thank you so much to the Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. Thank you to John Somsky, Rob Washam, Joe Coolis, and Chris Jones. We couldn't do it without you. Thanks to the YouTube chatters, and thanks to you, the listeners at home, the OGs of the Rec Poker Fan Club. So you're the best, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks, everybody.